Black Stars, they become a puzzle, a major puzzle that we need to attempt to solve. When this new GFA administration started, or they took over, they had a slogan, bring back the love. And the love was to get us to a place where we begin to love the Black Stars again. Because really, Ghana football is all about the Black Stars. In fact, to a very large extent, sports in Ghana was about the Black Stars. Sports was Black Stars was sports. We pumped a lot of money into the Stars, and they brought us unity. It is the one thing that we can all unite around. The politics that divides us, the economic challenges that we face as a country. When the Black Stars play football and they play well and they win, we tend to forget our concerns, our worries, our political divide, the things that divide, and we come together. So each time the Black Stars fail us and they break our hearts, it is a major deal. And that is why you've seen videos emerge from the tournament of very disappointed, angry supporters who have actually besieged the hotel where the players are sleeping and accosted them. Some of them attacked them. One person had actually been removed from the hotel. There are reports that he'd been arrested. We'll go live there, speak to my colleague who is there for us, what really happened, because really it comes down to solving this puzzle. It's a puzzle that we've been scratching our heads over for a long time, and it's not getting any better because we lost against Cape Verde. So let's talk about the Black Stars, right? It is a new year, same old Black Stars, but we have 2 more games. If we perform, we possibly stay. But this is the story. We start, obviously, many people said, don't underestimate any team now on the continent. And we're seeing that in this tournament, right? Cape Verde has told us that. We saw how Mozambique played against Egypt. Egypt were the favorite before a ball was kicked, was one of the favorites. I'll show you that permutations in terms of which teams are seen as the favorite teams in this particular tournament. And Egypt is one of them. And of course, they struggled against Mozambique. Here we are at the bottom. All isn't lost just yet, but it's the first game against Cape Verde we're supposed to win. We are the Black Stars. This is Ghana. What we do is to play football. If we can't do anything at all, we can kick a small round ball around and do it with flair. That's why people love the Black Stars. And here we stand with 0, going into a match that now becomes a must-win against the Egypt side that we've struggled to beat in the past. So that's why many people are concerned about this. But then you look at it. Look at the match now that, of course, we lost this. And then the Egypt versus Ghana is going to be a major one indeed. Then Mozambique versus Ghana. So these 2, we must win one. And then we're now going to be starting doing all the permutations about, what is, our faith wouldn't be in our hands anymore. But it is possible, right? What would it take to solve this puzzle? To get this team to a place where they can play football like we know they can. Is it the coach? Is it the players? Is it the management around it? Is it the politics around it? What is it? We just simply do not have the men anymore. We'll get into that and analyze it a bit more, right? But on an increasingly very worrying trend, when you begin to dissect the Black Stars problem over the last 5 AFCONs, is that we are getting increasingly worse over time. One AFCON after the other, we don't get better, we get worse. So let's go back to 2013. We were 4th. And then we did great in 2015. We were runners-up, right, under Van Grant. That was good. We actually nearly won that particular tournament because, of course, we were runners-up. And then 2017, we are back to 4th. And then you think, okay, when Van Grant left, there's a reason why we brought in one of our own, only for us to be kicked out in the round of 16. And then you go to 2021, group stage is where we go out. Worst performance yet in last 5 AFCONs. Now we are facing the possibility again that we may be kicked out of the group stage again because of the way we started, right? So clearly, we haven't been doing something right over the last 5 AFCONs. If you take out 2015, for example, you have 2017, 2019, 2020, incrementally, we've been underperforming. And we've been incrementally getting worse when it comes to our standing in the game on the continent as we've seen it in these AFCONs. Fourth, round of 16, group stage, just not good enough. And we're seeing this play out again this year. But of course, we have 2 more games, as I've said, and so all isn't lost. And yet you look at the permutations according to Opta, right? Looking at which countries are most likely, top 10 countries most likely to win this tournament. And Ghana is placed there at 9th. Yes. Ahead of us are a host of other countries who, of course, have invested a great deal in their football. We have Ivory Coast, obviously because they are hosting, and when you host, you tend to... And Ivory Coast is a solid team, by the way. There's a solid footballing nation. Senegal, they're the current holders, so they are in there. Morocco is in there. We know the story about Morocco and how much investment they placed in there. You see the performance in the World Cup, for example, tells a story. Algeria, Egypt is there, Cameroon, Nigeria, Tunisia, of course Ghana, and then we have Mali. Now, there's very little expectation after this game, after the Cape Verde game. But we're going to face Egypt now, and Egypt is ahead of us in terms of the countries most likely there. After 10, we are 9th, right? So, of course, that tells you that people still rate us when it comes to, football. But I must submit, it's largely because of our history. And we've been talking about this history as long as I've been a kid and I've grown up into an adult, about how Ghana in 1982 won the last AFCON, and we're looking forward to our 5th one. And this history is tired now, right? But if you look at it, Ghana has won only one of our last 10 matches at the AFCON, which is shocking when you begin to look at the statistics. We've drawn 4, we've lost 5, we've won 1 in the last 10 matches we played at the AFCON. Just pause for a second and think about that start. It tells you quite a bit about our failings as a national team. And we have some good players. Of course, Kudus is possibly our brightest star. He's injured. As a result, he's not playing yet. He's not well, from whatever we understand. Playing very well for West Ham. You have Arsenal's Partey, by the way, who also, as we know, has been injured. Of course, as for Tariq Lamptey, even for Brighton, he's been struggling to get in there. But if we have him back, say, does that change much? We'll get to analyze that. But that stat here is a very startling one indeed. 1 of 10 matches we've won at the AFCON. In the last 10 matches that we played, we won only 1. We've drawn as many as 5. We've lost as many as 4. We've lost 5. That for me isn't good enough, and something must change here. We have an opportunity against Egypt, for example, and that will lift the spirits a bit more if we are able to perform there. But it will take a miracle, because Egypt also needs points on the board, because they also underachieved in that last game against Mozambique. But some of our key players there not featuring. And as you've seen him, and I've made the point, for me in the Premier League, he's possibly one of the most exciting players to watch when you watch West Ham. I tune in to watch West Ham games because of him, right? He played 16 so far. He scored 6 goals. Assists is 1, but he's 7.2 in terms of his output for the team. And David Moyes loves him, and he's become a favorite of supporters of West Ham. He brings a lot to the game, and maybe if he comes in, he may change something, and we'll see what our analysts say about this. Of course, Partey has been injured; he's not been featuring for a while. There's the talk of Arsenal let him go. As for Tariq Lamptey, he hasn't been featuring as much for Brighton and Hove Albion already. But there is a question to be asked about this Black Stars puzzle and how we solve the puzzle. You see that we don't just simply have the men, and that we just have too high of an expectation of our boys. What is it? And how do we stay in this tournament beyond the group stage? That's the last time. That's where we exited. We'll try and solve this puzzle when my guests begin to join us for a conversation. We'll also take you live there into our camp and get the very latest. How is the team recovering from this challenge that they face? And our supporters have made it absolutely crystal clear to them, beyond just, of course, what we hear on radio. Many of them stormed their hotel and told him to the face. I've seen the videos. It's appalling, by the way. You're wondering, where is the security? This shouldn't happen, where you have supporters storming in, having these rebel arguments. It could have turned pretty messy. In fact, in one case, as we've learned, our coach became a subject of an attack. And we'll get to look at that. But it tells you how passionate we are as a people about football. It's the thing that pulls us and unites us. We'll look at that, go there first, with one of my colleagues joining me for a conversation. Please stay with me.
Blessing, do you know of any good medical school I can take Kofi to?
Oh, Fifi, is that why you're looking all moody? Then I have some good news for you. The College of Medicine and Allied Sciences, COMAS, Accra, Ghana, is a degree-awarding institution, and they offer Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery using the Graduate Entry Medical Programs, Bachelor of Diagnostic Imaging, and BSc Health Information Management. All these programs are accredited by GTEC. Their bilingual curriculum prepares you to consult in French.
But I'm worried about admissions.
Admissions are ongoing. Contact us on Facebook or on Instagram at info.comas or call us on 0208-456-556 or send them an email info@comas.edu.gh. COMAS, the citadel of a holistic professional medical education.
It's a movement for a better Ghana. The new force.
Embrace the new force.
Crazy pa. Answer my own me.
Risky.
Wash. All of a sudden, my voice I hear different. And when you saw a call. Barman, bring me the honey whiskey. You know the one? Black Rock Whiskey.
Honey whiskey.
Chalet, honey near their fro. Black Rock Whiskey is strong. Now to taste me is smooth. And it goes down easy. Excuse me. Barman, bring my friend one Black Rock Whiskey.
Black Rock Whiskey, blended with natural honey flavor.
Hey, what's up?
Barman.
Hey, what the hell for Sikanton Sata? You've been to a man, no?
Black Rock Whiskey can be a feeling smoothness, no?
Drink responsibly. Not for sale to persons under 18 years of age and not recommended for pregnant women. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Daddy, this tank is big.
Yes, that's true.
It can store a lot of water.
That's so true.
Wow, it has a working tortoise on it.
That's so true.
I can see SINTEX. Syntax.
That is so true, my daughter.
But it's fast and it will spoil.
That's not true.
But why?
Hey!
Syntax was the first to introduce double-layer tanks in Ghana. Syntax again was the first to introduce white inner layers in Ghana. Syntax gives you the biggest warranty, 7 years. No matter your water needs, Syntax is the answer. Syntax tank. Are you strong? Are you tough?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to demonstrate to you the superior properties of Flamingo paint. As compared to other paint brands on the market, we take equal quantities of Flamingo paint and this ordinary paint. We then dilute them with water. And now, let the test begin. The gentleman on the left is going to apply the ordinary paint, and the gentleman on my right will use the Flamingo superior paint. As you can clearly see, Flamingo has the obvious better hiding. Furthermore, Flamingo has painted a much larger area. You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint is made with superior formulation to give superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
Daddy, this tank is big.
Yes, that's true.
It can store a lot of water.
That's so true.
Wow, it has a working tortoise on it.
That's so true.
I can see SINTEX. Syntax.
That is so true, my daughter.
But it's fast and it will spoil.
That's not true.
But why?
Hey!
Syntax was the first to introduce double-layer tanks in Ghana. Syntax again was the first to introduce white inner layers in Ghana. Syntax gives you the biggest warranty, 7 years. No matter your water needs, Syntax is the answer. Syntax tank. Are you strong? Are you tough?
Every day, people have money emergencies. Ma, I need my school fees emergency. Mommy chop money emergency. Emergency. Catch it. I'm your rent emergency. Now, there's a new emergency number in town.
More money, challenge and enjoyment. At the top life we got.
Dial star 770 hash for all your money emergencies and chop life.
Dial star 770 hash for money emergencies and get easy and quick access to your money, loans, and other banking needs. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Can he tee up someone in red? And it goes to one!
Do like that! What's 5 champions league? You want to know? I be the real goat. Tell me. What's the real goat? The left magician. The left magician.
Who is the goat? Ghana Jollof or Nigerian Jollof?
Ghana Jollof has no co-equal. The smell alone. Oh my God.
Oh, that shit. You two the lie. Now the same stew when they use cook the rice and then they go put them for top.
Hey, you are lying. Ghana Jollof.
Are you here? Forget everybody. Yeah, my guy. Put some respect on the goat.
On the goat. The only goat I know lives in Tama.
Every year we dey give to you back.
We are talking about BET. I want some Yaji face.
Except be the goat, huh?
My guy, he be the goat.
Though our choice of goats may differ in football, music, and jollof, Alomo Bitters always brings us together. Alomo, experience greatness in every moment.
Drink responsibly. Not for sale to persons under 18 and recommended to pregnant women. This advert is FDA.
BM Express is always brought to you by Syntax Tanks. It is strong, it is tough. Our Lomo Bitters experience greatness in every moment. Ghana AIDS Commission also, no matter your water needs, Syntex Tanks has it all. Syntex Tanks has first introduced the double layer tank, and now you can have as many layers as you want. Syntex Tanks has first introduced the white inner layer tanks in Ghana. We now introduce you to the customer specs order, which lets you order any color, size, or preference. Syntex Tanks gives you the longest warranty of 7 years, which no other tanks gives you in Ghana. So whatever your water consumption, size of product, or demand, choose Syntex Tanks. We have agents nationwide. Call them on 0244 335 168 or shop online at syntexgh.com. A strong, a tough. My guest joining me tonight for a conversation, Carl Tufo, you know him. He's a veteran sports broadcaster, and he has, of course, a lot of thoughts to share on this. And he possibly witnessed when we've last won the AFCON. We've seen another Black Stars play the first game, and the concerns that we may just be exiting again at the group stage. How do we fix that puzzle and solve it? Also joining me tonight, it's my colleague Muftau Nabila, who's actually there for us tonight in the Black Stars camp. I'm grateful that he can join us. Jerome Motri, you know him. He's a former editor of the Kotoko Express, follows the Black Stars very keenly. Henry Asantuchu will also join us. He's with the head of communications at the GFA. Oh, he joins us now, actually. Thank you, Henry. I'm grateful to have you join us, Henry. In fact, Henry, I want to start with you. I mean, I want to get a sense of the mood in camp tonight on the back of that defeat that we suffered at the hands of Cape Verde.
Good evening, Evans. Thanks for having me. Yes, obviously on the back of that defeat last night, there was a great disquiet among the players. When we boarded the bus from the stadium to the hotel. This morning, there have been series of meetings between the technical team, the playing body, the management team. We met at different times, to look at what to actually do in order to go into the next game with the highest level of concentration and also a very good spirit in order not to crash out of the competition in the first round. The players believe it is possible. Management also believe it is possible. Not long ago, they had their dinner. As we speak, they are in another meeting. Normally, what we do is after every training session, the technical team meets with the players to review their performance in training. So as we speak, they are in a video meeting looking at how they fared after the first day of training following last night's defeat. We will continue to train tomorrow, also train on Wednesday, and attach the necessary importance and the highest level of attention that we can give to the game in order for us to win. If it is about losing first matches and going all the way in competitions, it has happened before, even in 2005, the last time we got to the final of the AFCON, we lost our first game, yet we were able to make it to the final after beating Algeria in our second game. We beat South Africa, we beat the hosts, Equatorial Guinea, in the semi-finals 3-0, and then we made it to the final. Unfortunately, we lost to Ivory Coast. So the senior players in the team who have that experience have been sharing it with some of the new players. Remember, Jordan was in that team, Richard Ofori was in that team, Andre Ayew was in that team. And so they've got loads of experience. And anytime there is an opportunity, Daniel Amate as well. So anytime there is an opportunity, they try to share that story with the young lads who, are new to the team and haven't had that experience before. So we are okay. Yes, it is a worry that we didn't play well. It is a worry that our performance was not up to the standard of Ghana. The team chemistry, cohesion, the telepathy, the stamina level have all been questioned. But these are things that are already known to the technical team, and I am sure that between now and Thursday, when we go for our next game against Egypt, they will work on all the flaws in order to give us a good result.
Let me ask you about the videos we've seen that have gone viral about fans storming the hotel. I've seen some of the videos, pretty worrying. What from the GFA point, what do you know? What happened?
First of all, Evans, let me mention that the hotel is not blocked from fans. We occupy the second, third, and fourth floors of the hotel. Now, the hotel is an 11th floor hotel. What it means is that 5th, 6th, and 7th is occupied by our brothers from Nigeria, and the rest of the floors have been given to guests. So it's not as if it is an exclusive Black Stars hotel. What that means is it's open to the public. People come in here for their workouts. People come in here for their meal, lunch, dinner, supper, what have you. So you cannot say that we should stop people from accessing the facility. What happened was that after the game, we spent a little over an hour at the stadium for players to take their shower, for the coaches to go through the mandatory post-match, blah, blah, blah. And then we got to the we got to the hotel late in the night. It was after 11 p.m. Then a fan who had made his way to the lobby saw the coach coming from the main entrance. So he got off from his seat and tried to approach the coach and told the coach that results have not been good since he took office. He is not, some of the words are not palatable. They are not words I can say on TV. But in a nutshell, all he was trying to say is that if you cannot improve the situation, then leave the job.
Okay.
So he tried making, walking towards the coach. That was when the security detail attached to the team immediately whisked him away. When they took him off the way of the coach, he descended down and went to the dining area. Unfortunately, his players were with him, so the players took the fight and they confronted the gentleman. Then the security man on duty also went to him and accosted him and moved him out of the hotel premises. They took him out. There was no arrest. I don't know what happened at the main entrance, and later he was driven out. I saw him stop a taxi and he left. And since last night, he hasn't made his way to the hotel again. As we speak, the security detail here have changed their modus operandi in terms of how they receive guests. Thorough search is made at the entrance. You take your phone and your bag or whatever through a scanning machine before you are granted access to the facility. So it is not true that he made physical contact with the coach. It was a verbal altercation. Later they took him away, and that ended the scenario. We have met the coach this morning. The leadership of the FA met the coach to assure him of our continued and undiluted support. We told him that he has our support and he should focus on the two remaining games in the group. We believe that it is possible for us to win those two games and make it to the next stage. So, in summary, that is exactly what happened at the team hotel last night.
Okay, and Muftao, you've been with the team also. What's your own assessment of the team as we speak tonight? We've had a great deal of detail from the GFA Director of Communications, but as far as this fans reaction is concerned. Yes, Muftao?
Eva. So, just as narrated by Henry Osatichu, it is exactly the information I had at about 11 p.m. yesterday. In fact, I was still at a media tribune when I had a phone call about the incident that happened at the Black Stars Hotel. And I got to my hotel around 12:30 to 1 a.m. and I've seen that the story was going viral. And that was when I also came out with a story that said that no, indeed, an incident happened at the Black Star Hotel where a fan tried to make his displeasure known to the coach. Like Harry mentioned, some of the comments were unprintable, and it's not good to put them on television because some of them were actually mentioned to me because people who were present when the incident happened told me exactly what transpired. But as you can always tell, Evans, the first narrative always dominates the conversation. Maybe if I came up with a narrative just as explained by Henry Asante, the second narrative wouldn't have had an opportunity of flying like the way it did. But that was it. This morning I was with the BBC World Service, which became a very topical issue. They called me from London. They called me from BBC Africa. All of them were trying to get many international media organizations were all trying to reach out to me to get a perfect understanding because after the time that the story was going viral, I was the only person who had a contrary story to what was dominating the headlines. So they reached out to me to clarify what actually transpired. I didn't mention to them that I was not at the scene. So they were trying to even find out whether the story out there that had detailed that there were some diplomats at the hotel who tried or who intervened for the supporter and all that. And I said, I don't know whether if the source of that story was at the team hotel, but I do know we're all at the media tribune together. But I left earlier when the reporter was still at the media tribune. So I cannot tell when he got to the hotel and how he was able to get the information. I could only tell them my version of the story. So it was later the BBC got back to me and told me that they've gotten a statement from Henry, and in fact they were telling me that they were grateful for the story I gave to them. And
that really offers that offers some clarity on that situation. But of course, I mean that shows you that incident shows you how passionate people are about the Black Stars and the disappointment. I want to bring in Carl, who is joining us now. Carl, let's talk football now. Henry and the GFA remain confident that yes, this has happened before. We've lost our first game before, and we've gone on to do well in the tournament. Now, based on what you've seen so far and the current crop of players we have in our team, in our squad, do you share that confidence? Hello, Carl. Please unmute for me. Carl, I can hear you. If you want to... Is this Solondo? Okay. Carl, can you hear me? Okay, we'll try and fix that challenge with Carl's connection. But I have Jerome. Jerome, that same question. You share that confidence?
Not exactly. I am hopeful that football being illogical sometimes, we can defy logic and beat Egypt and possibly win the last game and progress. But I don't have absolute confidence. I leave room for a surprise. I leave room for the logicality of football to, visit Egypt and then hand Ghana some sweet victory. But in reality, it is not something I expect. And you see, let me touch briefly on the incidents that have happened in our camp. I think the FA is just making excuses. Let's not entertain some of these stories. In as much as it is something that might have happened and they may not have had control over it. Evans, if you have tracked events in Ghana's camp at competitions over the last decade, you would not take these things lightly. And I am not taking on my brother. I'm not taking on the FA. I'm just saying that awful developments, negative developments in our camps at tournaments have become way too much, and it is inexcusable. The explanations are okay. The explanations only clarify exactly what happened. But I'm saying that how many countries go to tournaments and every tournament you have some negative development emanating from their camp, if not Ghana? I don't know many. Maybe I'm not following the others. Maybe I'm only paying attention to Ghana. But I'm saying that whatever happened, it is inexcusable. And I wish we may not even talk. I mean, we will not talk about it again, because while we are there are not these issues. We are there for something more important than this.
Yeah, and we are there for the footballing reasons. And you say that based on the football you've seen, the quality of the squad that we have, you don't share the confidence that the GFA has that we can turn this around against Egypt and Mozambique.
I am sure that we can do it. But I'm also looking at the reality of the situation. I mean, for where the FA people sit, you don't expect them to give the kind of vibes I am giving, because they must inspire hope. They must tell us something positive. But what we are doing is to look at the reality and say that it's okay to give assurances, but let us be real too.
I mean, Carl is back. I mean, Carl, if you can hear me, the Black Stars remains a puzzle. What for you remains the key to solving this puzzle, based on what you've seen so far?
That's one of the most difficult questions for any administration to do. But I have been having chats with people like Jerome, who now is somebody who knows a thing or two about leadership and governance. And I think we lack that in this country. I'm sorry. And this is not limited to the FA. It's a nationwide thing. We tend to go to tournaments, regardless of the planning, thinking that we have a divine right to be there. Yet we have absolutely no right to be there. You work at it to get to the level that you'll achieve. And I think, whether we like it or not, it is imperative that we now start reassessing ourselves and stop this business of stating that, we are one of the so-called heavyweights, so it'll be fine. That's not the case. And the last time I checked, we were 11th or 12th on this continent. And that even tells you that when it comes to a tournament like this, you are not going to become a top seed. And because of something like that, it really must dawn on, and in this case, it's the authorities and it's the FA, that look, you've got to have a sober approach to things as far as the passion of the people is concerned.
Yeah, I mean, but what is the Black Stars puzzle? Is it the quality of the players we have? We just don't have good enough players, or is it a coaching problem?
I'll tell you one thing. In some cases, in times gone by, it's been the quality of players. In some cases, in time gone by, it's been the coach. But tell me, sincerely, the 2 goals that were conceded, could you attribute that to the coach?
What do you put that down to?
The goalkeeper fumbled them. For me, the goalkeeper fumbled them. And he left people with an opportunity. You cannot convince me that the coach told him, push the ball this way. Everybody knows in simple basic, and I'm not a footballer, I'm a journalist, but I know and I've heard players say it, and coaches say it. When you're saving, push it out. There is no way. And I'll be brutally frank with you. Ofori maybe have been at fault for the 2 goals. And he was at fault for the 2 goals. But had it not been for him and Jiku, it probably would have been 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, but then you touch on a bigger problem, isn't it? I mean, if it's true, the goalkeeper made quite some saves, That tells you that the big picture though is that we're simply not good enough. Is that a fair conclusion to come to?
Exactly what I was going to try. That's exactly what I was going to drive from. Then we need to look at ourselves and admit that we ain't got what we thought we had. Because the one person who...
Oh, Carl, I believe I've lost Carl there.
Yeah.
In terms of the audio.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can now, yes.
Yeah. Truth of the matter is that player, the one who I'd say would walk into any team in Africa, I can't boast of any other player. And I'm talking about Kudus. And once he's not there, we are headless.
I mean, and talking about Kudus, well, I need to get an update on Kudus. Harry, what's the update on Kudus, by the way? Because we're desperate to see him in our next match.
Well, Kudus was not named in the squad yesterday because he's not fully fit. He joined us on Tuesday, and then we traveled on Wednesday. He's on the road to recovery. When we arrive, normally what he does is that after the first 15-20 minutes of training, he joins the physios for his personal training outside of the group. Now, luckily, today he trained with the rest of the squad. He stayed in the group training for the whole period. The medical team is still assessing him, and let's hope that by Thursday he will be cleared fully fit to start the match. But his training has been good. He's been working very, very hard in training. He's been pushing very hard. What it is about ligament injuries is that you do not have to put a lot of pressure on that foot to be able to recover early. You need to rest as much as possible, and you need to also regulate your training schedule. So when he was returning from West Ham, because we have the scan report of the from the medical team of West Ham, the medical team of the Black Stars have been following it judiciously in order not to rush him, which is why he stayed out of yesterday's game.
But he's back in training now.
He's working very hard. He's back in full team training, and I am sure by Wednesday or Thursday he will be fine for the match.
Okay, that's great news there. That's great update on Kudus. I want to bring in Songo, who's also joining us right now. Songo, if we are hopeful that we see Kudus back, will Kudus change anything for you? Hello, Songo. Songo, can you hear me?
Yeah, hello, Ivan.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Hello, Ivan.
Yes, we just received good news. I can, yes. We just received good news that Songo Kudus is back in training. And we are hopeful that he's going to get the all clear to play. If he gets back, would that change much?
Thanks for much respect to your viewers and your listeners, but I mean, if you are not fit for a tournament, you opt out. You just stay out. That is all. What is Kudus going to do for Ghana? Tell me. I mean, this same guy, he was part of our AFCON tournament, and he never played a single match. Kudus will play. And Kudus never played for Ghana. And it is happening again. You understand? If you are not fit, you don't need to be part of the team. We want fully fit players. Look at the Mozambique. Look at the Mozambiqueans, and I mean the way they play. Look at the tournament, the energy. Look at Quebec. I mean, look at the energy level. You don't need injury players or half fit players to be in the tournament. What are you going to get from them?
But he's our best player, arguably, you know.
Who told you that? What has he done for Ghana or for Black Stars that makes him the best player? Tell me, who told you that? What has he done that could do? With all due respect, yes, he is a good player, upcoming young chap, he needs to, stay calm. The way he's dedicating himself and playing all out for West Ham, that is what he has to show more, even extra more, when it comes to Ghana. So he needs the support of Ghanaians to be able to rise up to that level you are talking about. He's not there. He's not our best player. Tell me which AFCON or which of the tournament that he's taking us and he has shown to us that he's our best player. He's won a cup for us. Tell me.
Who is our best player then?
It's a teamwork.
Okay.
For now, and they are fantastic chaps there. Yes. Even you talk of Jordan Ayew. You talk of Jordan Ayew. He's a very good player, very experienced. Yet still we have the captain there, Andre. You understand? It's a teamwork. We need a teamwork.
So Songo, what do you put the Black Stars problem down to? This challenge we have with Cape Verde, what do you put it down to?
Remember, we've not been able to win any AFCON match for 5 years now.
Yes, you're right. We've won 1 in 10.
Yes, for 5 solid years, we've not been able to win a match, including yesterday.
Yeah.
You understand? So anytime we go and we come back, we are going to fix the problem. We are going to learn lessons out of that, but we don't learn those lessons, and it's a fact. You listen to the communication director, my brother, how he's talking about the fact that somebody came over to the hotel to attack the coach and how they dealt with it. It can be from these same football people. Go and attack the coach. Go and do something to the coach. Oh yes, I'm saying they don't like the coach. Before the tournament, yes, we know the coach is not a good coach. We've seen him pursuing coaching the EPL in England or the English Premiership. We saw him 1 or 2, but coming to Ghana, we thought we could get the best out of this coach, but we've seen that he's not the best. Yes. Before the tournament, they didn't want the coach, so they sent letter or whatever to the sports ministry asking them to get the coach out. Yes, so-called football people. Fine. Look at what is happening. And look at the way the communication director is explaining issues about somebody attacking the coach. It's just a matter of, we know our coach is not good, but we are there. You need to help him. You decided to understand when you were asked that, support the coach, so we go for this AFCON. And you did that. You are there now. So what do? You have to make sure that the coach is safe, and at least you support the coach to be able to give us the best. But when you talk of our performance, my brother, it's not the best. This is not what we are asking for from the Black Stars. Since Chris Hughton took over, there's not been any improvement out of our football, our Black Stars. And we didn't want this coach to take us to AFCON, but we are there now. Now what do? You need to help the coach to be able to select good players, position the players.
But the GFA cannot interfere in the work of the technical team. Yes.
You are not interfering, but at least you are helping the coach. You understand? This is a tournament. First of all, selecting players to the tournament was not based on merit. There are some players who are not to be there.
Like which player? Like which player?
There are some players who are. Is that?
Like which player?
Oh, please. I don't need to mention this, but you watched them yesterday. And there are some players who have been with the Black Stars for so long. They've been to tournament this AFCON. But yet still they've not been able to improve. There are some players who are not supposed to be there. We don't select players based on merit.
Yeah, but you have to, but you have to help me appreciate which player is there who is there not on merit, and which was selected.
Ivan, for now you need not to be mentioning names, but we are all watching the game, and that is what we saw yesterday. We were beating 2-1. Quebec will score the first goal, you will equalize, then still Quebec will be able to get the second goal against Ghana, a whole so-called football nation. We've won the AFCON 4 times, produced all the best players. What is happening now? That we are now a boogie side for the likes of Cape Verde and Comoros. That we can't even.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a point there, and Jerome, I want to come back to you on this. Yeah. Jerome, this statistic, 1 win in 10 at AFCON, it's shocking. And Songo says we haven't learned the lessons. And I just saw the list of coaches we've had. Some of them have impressive CVs, and they haven't delivered, right? Now we're seeing Chris Hughton struggle, and I honestly, sincerely don't see Chris Hughton beyond AFCON as our coach. I don't see it. I don't know if you see Chris Hughton continue in that position, but he also hasn't performed. So what really is is it the management? Is it the coaching? Is it the lack of quality players? Because we're seeing the same old problems emerge.
Yeah, even it's a management problem. It's a leadership issue, and sometimes when you talk this way, people don't seem to get it. Let me start with the Kudus situation. Everybody on this platform knows what, including yourself, your good self, knows what happens when players are not fit for competitions or are not fit for matches. 2 things. Either they come and you are told in clear terms when they can play, or they don't come at all because they cannot play. In our situation, we seem to be having a replay of what happened the last time. The only difference is that this time he is at the tournament. The last time he wasn't at the tournament. And we kept being assured that he will come. He never came. It doesn't usually happen.
Just in fact, Mobile Wakasu was there. Mobile Wakasu was also there injured and never picked the ball.
Okay, so I'm just saying that in Kudus' situation, we can have a clear communication as to what is happening to him, when he can join the team, whether or not he can play. It's a very simple, straightforward matter, so that you don't leave anybody in suspense. Let me put that issue aside. On what is happening to us, why we have not, done so well in the last 2 or 3 AFCONs, I am saying that it's got to do with how the Black Stars, the senior national team, is being managed. There's nothing more or less than that.
What is wrong with the management?
So what is wrong with the management starts from the state. It starts from the sports ministry. I do not think that as a country we have clearly identified what we want to do with our senior national team. All that we've been doing is when it's time for tournaments and we are lucky to qualify or we are able to qualify, money is made available for them to travel. And that's all. There's no real plan as to what Ghana has been doing with the Black Stars, where we want to take it, even if we are talking about player quality. How are we nurturing players?
Yeah, you make a point. I need to quickly pick Carl Tufor's thoughts and I'll come to Mufta. Carl, do you agree with that assessment?
Well, he couldn't have said it any better, could he? Whether we like it or not, if the FA will get the praise when the team does well, and people praise them to the hilt when, much against the odds, they qualified for the World Cup against Nigeria, then the FA might be prepared to carry the can when things don't go right. So it's simply a case of you accept and you move on. But Jerome had probably summed it up. My worry, though, is that aside of the FA, if that's a problem, aside of the FA, do we really have the caliber of players that you can ooh and ah when you see them play?
Do we have?
Let's look at ourselves again. Do we? And I think the answer there for me is no. How many Ghanaians, with the exception, one, of Jordan Ayew, Kudus, are playing regularly, key words here, regularly, starting games for their respective club sides? How many Ghanaians are playing for the big sides, the mega sides? Come on, we've got to admit it. Our players are not up to the required standard. And let's try and find ways and means of rectifying that. So not all the blame for me goes to the FA, but the FA must accept responsibility for the quagmire we find ourselves in right now.
Yeah, but Ivan.
Yes, Songo.
Yes. What Carl just said. I mean, when you speak your mind, or you also come out of how you feel about our football. You have FA where they don't accept criticisms. That is the problem. You understand? And in this our country, when so-called football, a section of people, or maybe like somebody wins an election, after winning the election, the opponent is an enemy. Whether the opponent has something good to offer in football or not, the opponent is an enemy.
I have a few seconds to wrap up. I need to take from all of you. Songo, Songo, let me take from you. What would it take? What would it take to get a positive result against Egypt? And that question must go to everybody. I mean, what would it take?
It will only take a miracle.
Muftar, what would you say to that?
I think it will take character and determination and hunger from the boys. Jiku and Dennis Odoi said it at the mixed zone. That is the only way out, because the body language of the players clearly does not suggest that they are committed enough. Maybe it's a difficult thing to say, because sometimes we look at this national team and we are wondering, how come they are not as hungry as we expect them to be? Just give us 100% of what you do for your class, and the class will be up there competing against the best in the continent. Ivan.
And Henry, I mean, you have the final word on this. I mean, we have to win this game. It's a must win now. Yes.
Evans, let me say mine before Henry comes in.
Unfortunately, because of time, you have 30 seconds. Quickly.
It's going to take the logicality of football. Logically, Ghana cannot beat Egypt.
Okay.
But football has to be illogical for us to win.
And Harry?
Well, I will say the odds are against us. All the factors enumerated are against the Black Stars. So it's as if there is no possibility going into the game against the Pharaohs. But what we know is that anything is possible. What we know is that the players must play above themselves in order. Very valuable lessons from that game, and we are working towards, getting a good game.
In other words, we know what we are coming up against. Henry, thank you very much. Carl, Muftal, Jerome, Songo, great. Thank you very much. We look forward to that game, and let's hope for a positive outcome. A win, it's all we require.